Good evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris here playing some Gwent. Now, in my last video on this game, I taught you how to play, and I did a practice match against the computer so that I could explain the rules and not worry about my turn running out. However, as we discovered, the computer decks that you play against in practice mode are complete and utter bullshit, and will just wreck your face unless you spend a bajillion zillion dollars. So what I'm going to do now is actually play in a multiplayer game. You can't play in ranked mode until you get to level 10. As you can see, I'm only level 5. Oh, I thought I'd leveled up higher than 5. Whoops, I think I mentioned 7 in my last video. I didn't mean to lie. I wasn't trying to prop myself up or anything. I thought I'd gone higher. But anyway, let's go ahead and start a casual match here using the same deck I used in the last game. So I might lose this game, and that's fine. I don't really care too much about winning in this video. I just want to show you what a game between balanced decks should look like. As long as, one person has not ridiculously outspent the other, you should almost never, unless something very unlikely happens, you should really never win 2 rounds in a row or lose 2 rounds in a row. Because in order to win the first round, you probably have to outspend your opponent in terms of cards, and so then your opponent will just have card advantage in the second round and can beat you. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is mulligans. Remember, you can redraw up to 3 of your cards. I'm going to get rid of this Wild Hunt Warrior, because he basically represents 6 strength. He's 5, and then he removes 1 from an opposing non-gold unit. You have to actually kill that other unit in order to get the 2 strength bonus, and that doesn't seem very likely that you can generally pull off. So basically it's a 6 strength card, plus 5 to you, minus 1 for your opponent, and that's actually pretty weak. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of him. Alright, now I got this Fog, which makes all the units in the ranged row have a strength of 1. I don't have my unit that likes to be in the Fog, and I don't know if my opponent's going to play ranged units, so I'm just going to actually redraw this Fog. And I'm going to get rid of this as well. I don't need an anti-weather card. Most people don't really play with weather, and it's only a strength 6, which isn't very good. So I ended up having to redraw the same card a bunch of times. Okay, so now I randomly flipped going first. Remember, the monster's ability is that the last non-gold card that you play sticks around to the next round. Usually all the cards that you play get cleared. So you have to think about that as the monsters. You want to basically play your strongest card last so that it sticks around. Also, you get to, if you buff the last card that you played, the value of the buff is retained. So I don't want to play the Manticore right off the bat. Instead, we'll play the Fiend, to put out 8 strength, which is a pretty decent amount of strength, and put some pressure on my opponent. The Eridan card that you get from this leader card is an 11th strength card. It is not a gold card, though. Even though the leader has a gold border, the card that comes out is not gold, so you actually can keep that from round to round as well. Alright, after 2 turns, convert to gold. Alright, so this will turn into a 7 strength gold unit, because of his static ability that gold units, when they appear, get a +2 strength. So I could use this to kill it, and I would be getting the full value out of the card. I'd be removing 7 strength from it, because ultimately this thing is going to be a value of 7. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that right now. Not have to worry about that stuff or any other buffs that he might want to play onto the row. And he plays this thing. Removes 3 strength from an opposing non-gold unit. Okay, so this is basically 8 strength, because it's +5 for him, -3 for me. Other than that, pretty straightforward card. Okay, next up, I'm going to go ahead and play this Golem. So this thing spawns 2 lesser Golems when it's removed. Now that can either be because my opponent kills it, or more likely because the round ends and it goes away. So I'll start the next round with a couple of 1/1s. Alright, choose a brawn unit other than okay, so what this does, it's only a 2 strength unit, but you get to pick one of your units on the field and bring it onto the board. And in this game, unlike in Hearthstone, you get to use the battle cries, so to speak, of a card, no matter how it comes into play. So he got to do the remove 3 strength effect of this Ballista when it was brought in by the Reaver Scout. Now, he targeted my Golem, which, I don't know, maybe he wants to kill it later on and have my little Golems pop out. Maybe not. I'm not sure. What I could do is I could actually play this Scorch. This is a very strong card. It's one of the most game-breaking basic cards in the game. What it does is it destroys the strongest non-gold units on the battlefield. Emphasis on units. But the parentheses S means that if there's a tie, then they all die. So if I were to play this right now, he'd lose both of these Ballistae, but I would also lose my Fiend, because it's also a strength of 5, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play this prize-winning cow. This is just a 1, but when it's removed from the battlefield, it spawns a short. So at the start of the next round, I'll have a 9 strength unit as a head start. And I want to see if he buffs these, then I can remove them both with my Scorch. Okay, so he made a mistake right here. He chose to buff both of his Ballista. Now, the reason that's a mistake is that Scorch is a basic card. Everybody starts with one, and it's extremely game warping. So he should have buffed the Scout and one of these Ballistas so that he'd have an 8, a 5, and a 5. But now, because he has 2 8s, when I play Scorch, which I'm going to do right now, I think this is a pretty good opportunity, I remove both of his 8s, and so he loses 16 strength. So now I'm in really good shape, because I can just pass, basically.
Interesting.
What is this? Oh, remove 4 strength. Okay, so he's making a pretty clever play here. He's going to kill my cow, which brings the... oh, no! He changed his mind. Okay. I thought he was going to kill my cow, so that I wouldn't get the 9 at the start of the next round. But basically, we've spent an equal number of cards here, but he's not winning by that much. And as the monsters, I'm going to get a really big advantage in the next round. I think I'm going to go ahead and blow my load here. I'm going to just put out this Manticore. And my plan is I'm going to give it the Swallow Potion to increase its strength by 8, and then I'm just going to pass. And I'll let him play cards to beat me, but I'm going to start the next round with an 18 strength unit. In fact, I don't think I actually need to do this. Whether I play the... well, if I play the Swallow Potion now, then yeah, I can force him to commit more cards. See, I'm going to do this. I'm going to play the Swallow Potion here. Wait a minute. Oh god. Did this come out... shoot. Did he just do the Lacerate? Yeah, he just did it. And when he did it, it killed my cow. Okay, so this is actually the last of my units that got played onto the field, so I need a Swallow Potion on the short. I almost made a pretty bad blunder there. So this is the unit that's going to stick around, not my Manticore. So by killing my cow, he actually did manage to rob me of a little bit of value for my faction ability. Now, what he could do here... okay, so he chose to use his own Scorch to kill my short. So he could have passed if he wanted to and just let me go. But the thing is, now this is going to stick around because this was the last non-gold unit that I played. And he's only... I'm 1 strength ahead of him, so this is perfect. I'm going to pass. Now he has to play another card in order to beat me. And he's going to have to play first in the subsequent rounds. Okay, so he's playing a card that brings a random bronze unit onto the board from your deck. So now... he is 1 card down from me. I've got 3 cards in my hand. He's got 2. He won the first round, so he has to play first in the next round because the winner of a previous of a given round goes first in the next round. So he's 1 card down. He needs to play first, and I start with a 10 strength lead. So I should be able to win without having to spend too many resources, or I could even go balls to the walls Dickens basically and just win. And then in the last round, I should still have enough strength left over to win. Okay, so now I have to think carefully about my faction ability. Basically, the last unit that I play is what's gonna stick around. Unfortunately, I don't have a fog effect. So what I want is for my leader card, my Eridan, to be the last card that I play because he's strength 11, which is stronger than any of the units that I have here. I'm also going to go ahead and play the Golem, which is the thing that spawns a couple of 1/1s when it's removed from the board. So in the next round, I'm going to have my 11 strength unit, and I'm going to have these Golems. So now my opponent made an interesting choice here. He decided to just pass early. So what I could do is I have a couple of different things. I could just pass and win, but then I have only a 6, and I don't get the 1/1s from this Golem going away. And he's going to start with the short, which is going to be a 9 strength. I could play a Wyvern to kill his cow so he doesn't get the short in the next round. It's just wasted this round. I could also play Eridan so that next round I start with an 11 strength creature. However, I don't think that move really makes particular sense because I can start with the Wyvern and I can then just play Eridan in the next round and I can still get the benefit of Eridan plus the extra Wyvern. So, yeah, I think I'm going to use the Wyvern here. Bring out his short so it's wasted. And then I'm going to pass. So I have 21 to his 9. I win. And so what happens now is I win. This last round is it for all the marbles. As the monsters, I get to start with a 5 strength bonus here. And then my Golem goes away, so I start with an extra pair of 1/1s. Now, both of us have cards, have leader cards that bring extra strength onto the field. He can copy one of his bronze units, and I get my 11 strength guy. So both of us have that ability to add extra strength through our leader cards. And he has a slight advantage because I'm going first, but I have a slight advantage because I have 7 strength as a heads up. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just use this first light ability. Actually, no, I'm going to... Wait a second. I'm going to use this ghoul. So what this does is it picks a random card in one of our graveyards and banishes it, meaning it permanently removes it from the game and absorbs its strength. So it's a little bit of RNG here. I got lucky. I picked... Geez, I picked a big one, like a 9 strength one. So I got a 13 strength unit, which is very, very good. Okay, he realizes he just can't beat me, so he passes. And I'm going to go ahead and pass as well. Now, once a game is over, it's kind of interesting. You can actually click a button to send your opponent a good game. And doing this gives 5 gold to your opponent. Hopefully my opponent does that. See, I got 5 ore here. So that's kind of interesting. Basically, after every game, you get 5 gold, and it's kind of similar to Hearthstone. Every 100 gold that you get, you can spend to buy a pack. There's also these daily rewards, which I'm not exactly sure how they work, but basically at the beginning of each day, I think it resets, and you need to win 6 rounds to get a reward for completing a tier. The more tiers that you complete in a given day, the more rounds that you have to win to get each subsequent tier. You do also get rewards at these tick marks, although these are smaller rewards than like the big tier reward that you can see I just got here for completing my 6th finished round win of the day. One thing I like about the system a lot is that it counts how many rounds you win rather than how many matches you win. And again, like I said earlier, most of the time, you're not going to win 2 rounds in a row or lose 2 rounds in a row. Vast majority of games, one player is going to win the first round, a different player is going to win the second round because they have more resources now, and so it all comes down to the third round. So most of the time, even if you lose a game, you're still getting progress towards those daily rewards, unlike in other games like Hearthstone, where only wins count towards those tier rewards for your daily wins. Okay, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. This ended up being a much better demonstration game than the stupid game against the AI that I played in the last video. Thanks for watching. Please like and or subscribe, and of course, check out the Gwent website to sign up for the closed beta if you want to roll the dice and take a shot at getting in and enjoying the game for yourself. I'll see you guys soon.